that. Okay, so welcome everybody. I'm so glad that you are on here. We are going to talk about promoting for events. And I will tell you, I went to the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing event last weekend in Las Vegas, and it was phenomenal. And I really, truly have come home with such a different attitude about our industry and our business, and most of all myself. And so I just wanted to kind of do this and give you some of the tips that we learned at this event in regards to promoting. And somebody has some, whoever's doing the headphones, if you can mute yourself, it's a little bit noisy. Thank you. So first of all, I will tell you that events drive our business. And so if you're not doing events, if your calendar isn't full of events and you really want to build this business, something needs to change. Either your expectations about building the business or your calendar, right? So you want to have a lot of events on your calendar. And it really is what drives events. And I had this conversation with a couple people on my team just yesterday. And an event can be anything. It can be a one-on-one meeting. It can be, a healthy living presentation that you do. It can be Prevention Plus, like Leanne Harris coming. It can be a team training. It can be a regional, a conference, anything. But what we're specifically talking about here is inviting people into events like a Healthy Living Revolution presentation that you're going to do in your house, or specifically the March 23rd event with Leanne Harris. And the principles we're going to talk about apply all the way across the board. But one reason that having those events is so important is because they're duplicatable. Right? You want your customers to become raving fans of the product. And then the next step is they're not going to be able to help it. They're going to be telling everyone about it. And then it's just a logical step. They might as well join your team because they're doing your job, right? You might as well get paid for it. If they come and do a one-on-one with you, that's awesome, and learn about the product. But you still want to set a goal to get them to an event, get them to an event in your home or a Prevention Plus or some other event, because that's what's duplicatable. If they don't ever come to an event, do you think they're ever going to host an event, or they're ever going to bring guests to an event? And that's what's so powerful. So keep in mind that what you model to your customers, you're modeling to your potential team. And we want to be duplicatable. And these events are such an easy way to get the word out to a whole lot of people all at once. Plus, there's magic in these events because other people are there. They're going to walk into this Leanne Harris event on March 23rd and see an entire room full of people, and they're going to get it that there's really something to this Juice Plus stuff, right? And there's going to be energy in the room, and it always happens. God just has a way of they will talk to whoever they need to talk to in that event to get whatever message they need to get. It always happens. And so I want to encourage you, even if you don't have somebody coming to an event, which shouldn't happen, but sometimes it does, you still want to show up. You might be the person that somebody else's guest needs to talk to. And it all comes around full circle. So the next time, someone else will be the right person for your guest to talk to. So events really drive our business. And Eric Worre talked about influencer. There's a difference between a leader and an influencer, and we want to be influencers. And influencers use passion and heart to build for events. So when you're inviting somebody, two different people can say the exact same words But one person can say it with passion and really come from their heart, and the other person can just speak the words. And they have two completely different connotations to the person that you're talking to. So I really want you to understand that the specific words you say really don't matter very much. It's the heart. You want to come from your heart, and you want to have the person you're talking to's best interest at heart. Why do you want them at that event? That's what you want to come through. So here are some tips. Number one is, for any event, be more committed to that event than anyone else on your team. So if you're a leader and you have a large team, be more committed to it than anyone else on your team. Bring more guests to it than anyone on your team. You want to set that example. If you're a very brand new rep, let's say you just signed your application yesterday, you want to be more committed to that event. You want to be more committed than anyone in your upline to that event, right? Each of us wants to be 110% committed. And part of that, I will tell you, as someone who organizes events, and it helps us out tremendously, is register early. That's part of your commitment. And I can't tell you how many times I hear people say, well, if I get guests there, then I'll go. And I'm going to wait to register until I know I have guests coming. So think about that. What is that saying? It's saying that you're not committed, right? You need to decide you're going to go to the event no matter what, and decide you're going to get people there, and go ahead and register and just put your best guess as to how many guests you're going to bring. Then number two is have a vision. Set some goals. And, so often, and I'm guilty of this too, I want to get people to that event and I'll start inviting, but I don't ever really think about, okay, how many people do I want to have there? But if you can do that, if you can say, and sometimes you're just pulling a number out of the air, that's okay. Sometimes it's an educated guess of, for whatever reason, I want this many customers, so I need this many guests. I mean, your upline can help you in terms of setting those goals, but set a goal. Know where you're headed and know what you're working towards. So set a goal. I want to have 5 people there, and go ahead and register 5 people. If you have 12, that's awesome. If you have 3, it's okay. It all evens out in the wash numbers wise, but it really, I will tell you, it helps the people organizing the events if you can register early, and if you can just say how many guests you think you're going to have coming. Plus, it is truly going to help you. You're that much more committed to talking to more people to get that many guests there. And then come up with a game plan, step by step, and use your sponsor or your sponsor's sponsor. Keep going in your upline until you find someone that will help you set a game plan. So set a goal for how many people you want there. At least 2 weeks out, you want to make your list, right? Create your memory jogger if you don't already have it. If you already have a great memory jogger, just look at it. Decide who lives in that area. Decide, for Leanne Harris's talk, it's allergies, asthma, ADD, and autism. That encompasses almost everybody that I know, right? We live in Houston. Who does not have allergies? Besides people taking Juice Plus, who does not have allergies in Houston? Everybody needs to come and hear Leanne's talk. And who doesn't have kids with asthma or ADD or autism? And so first, you really want to focus on those people that first come to mind, but then keep thinking about it. So make a list of everyone you're going to invite, and then get on the phone and start inviting. And if you need help with verbiage, that's where your upline can come in. And I can tell you, specifically for Leanne's talk, she did a Voxer message that went out to the Houston leadership. And if you haven't heard that message, ask your upline to send it to you, or just send me a box directly, and I'm happy to send it to you. And it kind of tells us what she's going to talk about. So, and if you have not heard Leanne Harris before, you are in for such a treat. I really absolutely believe she's one of the best speakers in our company. She has amazing credentials. She is so down to earth and so human and so passionate, and her information is spot on. People are gonna understand it. They're gonna walk away with a lot of knowledge. They're gonna understand how G's Plus can help them, and they're also gonna understand there are other resources out there. She told us in that message, she'll recommend some books to read. She has a lot of great information. So the way I would invite someone is, you know, Sally, I know that you suffer from allergies, and it just hurts my heart to see you go through that every single season. We have this amazing speaker coming into town. I so want you to come with me. You know, are you available on March 23rd? And here's a tip that I do. I will tell people, you know what, we'll go have a drink afterwards, or we'll make it fun, right? Give them some extra incentive if you think that will help. And one thing I always tell people when I invite them, we have a really fun group of people coming, and you're gonna fit right in. Because it's the truth. There are always a really fun group of people at our events. So in your game plan, I want to read to you just really quickly. This is from the GoPro book. And if you don't have this book, GoPro, I encourage you to get it. You can order it, I think, on Amazon. So I'm going to read a little bit from this book, and I don't really like reading in public, so bear with me, but I think this is important. And this is in the promoting events section at the end. And he's specifically talking about big events like conferences, but this applies to any event. So he says, promoters make the event a priority in their group. They are relentless with their message. They tell stories that inspire people to action. They take nothing for granted and don't rest until people have registered. They paint a picture in people's minds about how great the event will be and the benefits of attending. One thing I learned long ago was to never buy someone's excuse, at least at the beginning. I can't tell you how many people started off by telling me the reasons they couldn't attend the next event, only to find out their reason was just an excuse and wasn't really true. The problem with amateurs, and if you haven't read GoPro, he talks about being a professional in your business. So there are amateurs and there are professionals. So he says the problem with amateurs is they buy that first story and that's the end of it. A person says, I can't get off work, or I can't afford it, or I can't arrange childcare, or who's going to watch my dog? There's a birthday party that weekend. And the amateur says, oh, well, it is what it is. I hope you can make the next one. The professional has a completely different mindset. When they hear an objection, they don't buy that story because they know it's probably not real, or at least not real enough. Instead, they work with that person to help them understand the importance of attending the event. Then they brainstorm with them to figure out a way to overcome their initial problem. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who had already decided they weren't going to attend the next event, and within 5 minutes, they changed their mind and registered. The lesson here is to tell your story and don't buy theirs. So, of course, there's a fine line between harassing someone into going to an event, and we don't want to be that person. But so many times people will tell you a story at first and just, you know, oh gosh, do you think there's any way that, you know, you can get someone to sub for you that night if they work, or you know, whatever it is, if you can put it in a kind of polite way like that, you know, you think it's possible for your husband to take Johnny to the soccer game that night instead of you. You know, how many soccer games do you see in a year? Hundreds, right? So question, just dig a little deeper with them and help them come up with some answers. I'll tell you, I had an event at my house last week, and I had my youngest daughter's best friend's mom. I had invited her, and I really don't know her that well. And she told me she was going to have to pick up her daughter from volleyball practice or something. And so I said, I have a 17-year-old daughter, and they know each other well, and they've ridden together. I know the mom is okay with her riding with my daughter. I said, you know what? Let me check with Haley. I bet Haley can pick her up. And guess what? Haley picked her up, and she got here, and she joined my team because she came to the event. So just help people find solutions. Okay, number 4 is peer pressure. Use some positive peer pressure, right? Say, oh, you know what? Sally and Susie and Bonnie are coming. We're going to have so much fun, right? Nobody wants to be left out. And you're not haggling them. You're just really encouraging them. And then number 5 is set your expectations. If you expect people to come, and when you invite to Leanne Harris, or really any event that it is, they would be crazy not to come, right? Anybody would be crazy not to want to come and hear Leanne Harris speak. So have that attitude. And if you invite and go, oh, there's that coming up, I don't know if you would want to go, right? Then you don't necessarily have the expectation that they're going to come. But have the expectation they would be crazy not to want to come. And I warned you that my cat would walk in front of the computer. Here she is. Okay, so a couple of the other things that we learned last weekend, a women event. Lauren Slocum, who is a Juice Plus person, spoke, and she talked about manifesting it. If you absolutely believe that people are going to come with you, and you do the activity to ask them, you're actually going to manifest that. And one important thing, and I don't tell anyone here, but one important piece of this that she talked about is Goya, G-O-Y-A. Does anybody know what that stands for? You have to get off your arse and invite people to come in order for them to come with you. And sometimes if you take it away from people and go, oh, if you've invited someone 6 times and they always have some excuse or another, you can just go, okay, I get it. This just isn't the right time for you. It's really too bad because, Sally and Susie and Bonnie and I are going to have so much fun, but we're really going to miss you. And then a couple other key points are, don't give your power away because you're afraid of failure. Okay, and I know there's that fear of failure out there, and trust me, I have it too. We all have it. But when you listen to that and you let that control you, you are absolutely giving your power away. And a lot of times we miss out on opportunities because they come in workloads. This business is really fairly simple, but it's not easy. It takes work. And hopefully when you join this business, people were clear with you about that. But that work pays off in so many ways. The people that you get to that event and they get on Juice Plus and you help change their health picture, it's so rewarding. And then when they join your team and you help change their financial picture, that's what's super, super rewarding. So a couple of thoughts that I will leave you with, and these came from last weekend. One is that we are created in God's image. So if you ever feel like you're not enough, if you feel like, no one's going to want to come with you to an event, or if you host an event and people aren't going to want to come, just turn that around. You're created in God's image. Do you think God created you to just be mediocre? No, absolutely not. And if the fear of rejection is stopping you or slowing you down, think about how many times Jesus was rejected, right? And think about the power of what he did on earth and still, what he continues to do. So I want to encourage you to play big. We don't serve anybody by playing small, but we can serve so many people by playing big. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Do you have any questions? I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Janice, I have a question.